everybody, welcome back to Birchwood Camp. This is Amelia in the kitchen. Today we're going to be making cinnamon rolls, one of my favorite recipes, especially for breakfast. If you haven't heard, let me tell you. In order to do this recipe, you need your parents' permission, or you got to have your parents do it with you, alright? So make sure that you get that permission or your parents are right there with you. And we're going to go ahead and get into this. So I'm going to turn my stove on to about medium-high heat. I'm going to put in my 3/4 cups milk. And what we're going to do is we're going to let that sit, stir it every now and then until it comes to a boil. And then we will add our 1/4 cup milk, or 1/4 cup butter. Alright, so our milk is boiling here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to remove it from the heat. Turn it off. And we're going to add our 1/4 cup of butter. And then we're just going to let that sit and stir it for a little bit every now and then until that butter is all melted and incorporated in the milk. So while our butter is melting with the milk, we're going to go ahead and add our dry ingredients. So we're going to add 2 1/4 cup flour, 2 1/4 teaspoon yeast, or in other words, just a package of yeast, 1/4 cup sugar, 1/2 teaspoon salt, and then we're going to mix that all together. You can see our butter's all melted there and incorporated with the milk, and what we're going to do is we're just going to add that to our flour mixture, as well as 1 egg. Alright, just going to mix this until it's well combined. And then 1/4 cup water. Just try to scrape the sides of the bowl as much as you can. That way you get the flour and all the ingredients well mixed together. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to add the remaining cup of flour. And you might want to start out slow mixing these, or else the flour is just going to go everywhere at once. So we'll start off slow until the flour is all incorporated. And what you can actually start to do is when it gets really hard to stir, is you can actually start using your hands to kind of knead it and mix it all together. Alright, so once you combine everything together, you'll get something that looks like this. And we're just going to turn that out onto a lightly floured surface, and we're going to knead the dough. This process is meant to make the dough more smooth and come together. So we're going to knead for about 5 to 10 minutes, and really we all have different kneading styles and different types of strengths. So when you feel like your dough is at a smooth enough consistency, you can go ahead and stop. But as you can see, my dough is still a little rough here. So I'm going to continue to knead that. Alright, so I kneaded it for about 10 minutes. You can see that it's a pretty smooth surface. And what we're going to do is we're just going to form it into a little bit of a ball here. And we're going to let it rest in this bowl for about 10 minutes. So I've gotten it rolled out into about a 12 by 8 inch square. And what we're going to do now is we're going to mix our cinnamon and brown sugar with our butter. Alright. You see that it's still a liquidy consistency, so we'll be able to spread it on there nice and smooth. Alright. We're just gonna spread it all over the square, getting it as close to the edge as we can. I'll just evenly spread it out there. Alright, so now starting away at the top here, we're going to fold it down. And we're going to begin our roll. This part is going to get a little messy here. It's totally alright. You see it's kind of coming out the sides there. We're just going to flip it. And then we're going to pinch the roll together. Alright, we'll roll it back on its side, just like that. Make sure that it's all even. Alright, so now we're going to cut them in about 1 inch thickness rolls. Got it looking like that. And we'll just place it on our pan here. And I'm working with a bread knife here. You can see the jagged edges on the knife. It makes it a lot easier to cut the dough if you have one of those. But if not, regular knife will work just as well. We're gonna place these evenly on our baking sheet and try not to put them so close to each other, just because they are going to rise and expand, and we don't want them all becoming one big sheet. Alright, this is our cinnamon rolls, and we are going to cover and let these rise for about 1 hour. Alright, so I let my cinnamon rolls rise for about 1 hour. It says in the recipe book that you can do it for 30 minutes. Basically, you're just waiting till they double in size. So it took about an hour in this kitchen and this warmth to rise. And we're gonna pop them in the oven. 375. We're gonna bake them for about 20 minutes. The cinnamon rolls have been baking for about 20 minutes. We'll go ahead and take them out of the oven. You can see that they expanded a lot more while they were in the oven. That's the yeast working in that.